Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's me, your boy Saint Master 5378. I'm bringing a different video to the table today, guys. And if you watch sports, you'll know what I'm talking about. Last week, and by that I mean yesterday, the NFL season concluded its last regular season week of play. This video is going to be me reviewing the NFL playoff poll and me stating what I think about each team that's on that poll. Without further ado, let's get into it. And the number 7 seed in the AFC, the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the Colts did a lot better than what I originally thought, and my original prediction for the Colts was 9-7, and the Colts this season ended up at 11-5 on the year. And so far, yeah, I think the Colts deserve to be in the playoffs. Their season so far has looked like this. To end their year 11-5 and clinch the number 7 seed. At the beginning of the season, before it started, they went out and picked up the free agent quarterback Phillip Rivers, and so far Rivers has delivered quite well on his performances. And yeah, I think the Colts might have a legitimate shot about making a Cinderella run in the playoffs. And with that out of the way, we are now going to move to the number 6 seed. And the number 6 seed that we will be talking about is the Cleveland Browns. I know, right? The Cleveland Browns in January football. Something not seen since 2003. The Cleveland Browns have snapped a 18-year playoff drought. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? 2017 Buffalo Bills. The Browns so far have lived up to their potential as of this season. My original prediction for the Cleveland Browns, I had them at 10-6 on the year. They got one more win and one less loss than I expected, and ended the season at 11-5, only third place in the AFC North, believe it or not. The Browns so far look decent. Even with the blow to their receiving core with Odell Beckham Jr. tearing his ACL in week. Now, they're playing the exact same opponent they faced in week 17 for a wild card. I think they might have a shot at getting a divisional round berth, which would then mean playing Kansas City. I personally don't see the Browns going incredibly far, but I do have them at least getting past the wild card. Anyways, now moving on to the number 5 seed. And that number 5 seed goes to the Baltimore Ravens. Wow, Baltimore. You fell off quite a fair bit from my original anticipations. Baltimore finished this season at a record of 11-5 and put second place in the AFC North. My original prediction for them went 15-1. What the hell, Baltimore? You were supposed to be better than this, and you had some pretty dumb losses in here. In my opinion, you should have had the division. You should have at least split with Pittsburgh. Personally, Baltimore underperformed to me, and they're playing Tennessee again in the wild card. And I personally think Tennessee will beat them, so I do not see Baltimore getting out of the wild card round. Anyways, we're now moving on to the divisional winners with the number 4 seed. And the number 4 seed in the AFC South champions, the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Titans I had doing a little bit better this year. They ended their season at 11-5. My original prediction for them was 13-3, but still they did really well and won their division with first in the AFC South. Personally, I think Indianapolis deserves this division, not Tennessee, because Tennessee did not play solidly going against the Texans. The fact that they almost lost should tell you something. Even though I do personally see Tennessee going to the divisional because of the fact they're playing Baltimore, who's even more suspicious, I do not see them making it past the divisional. And the team that they would end up playing in the divisional would be Buffalo or Pittsburgh. But now we move on to the number 3 seed. And that number 3 seed is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jesus Christ, Pittsburgh. Wow. The fact that you started this season 11-0, it was very beautiful to watch. But then you lose 3 straight after that. And they're all winnable games. And you get the number 3 seed as the AFC North champions at 12-4, which is better than I originally had you planned out to be. Don't get me wrong. I originally had you at 7-8-1. So, yay for you. But I do not see you making it past the Browns in the wild card. The number 2 seed. And the number 2 seed is the Buffalo Bills. Holy crap, Buffalo. You did so much better than what I would have originally thought you did. Don't get me wrong, I had them at 14-2 on the year, and they ended up at 13-3, but still, that was beautiful what Buffalo has done this season. They traded with the Vikings to get Stephon Diggs and ended up giving up a first rounder in 2020, and the Vikings originally gave them a 7th rounder and Stephon Diggs. Diggs has so far lived up to his expectations in Buffalo. He's given Josh Allen a number 1 target, and Allen, Diggs, and the rest of the Buffalo Bills stampede has led them to a 13-3 season and their first AFC East title since 1995. Damn, Buffalo, it only took you an extra 25 years to get another title, but it's well-deserved. Congratulations. The only team that I would say you'd have some legitimate issues with is Tennessee if they decide to bring their guns in the div, but I personally don't think they will. This might be gutsy, but I could see the Bills making the Super Bowl. They completely destroyed the Dolphins week 17, and they didn't even play their starters and put up 56 points. I personally see Buffalo going quite far. If we're stretching it, I see Super Bowl for them. If not, AFC Championship for sure. Which now gets us to the number 1 seed. And that number 1 seed is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, with Kansas City being the defending Super Bowl champions, you'd think, oh, yeah, they would put up a good season. Well, they did. They ended up finishing the season at 14-2 and clinching an AFC West title, and as well as the number 1 seed. The only teams that the Chiefs have lost to have been divisional opponents. Likely prediction is the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl again, but the only team I personally see beating them in their own AFC riding is Buffalo. And now with the AFC done, let's move to the NFC number 7 seed. And the number 7 seed in the NFC is the Chicago Bears. I'm going to just say this right now. Chicago does not belong in the playoffs. Off of a wild card team, you should not be 500 going to the playoffs. Arizona should have this spot, despite them also being 500. but they legitimately look like a playoff contender. I do not see them getting very far, especially because they're playing the Saints in the wild card, and the Saints are a legitimate Super Bowl contender, so I wish Chicago all the luck in the world of getting past them, because there's no possible way that they'll get past them. That out of the way, we're going to move to the number 6 seed in the NFC. And the number 6 seed goes to the Los Angeles Rams. Ah, yes. Welcome back to the playoffs, Rams. We missed you last year. What the hell happened? This season, they go 10-6 and make the playoffs. They've clinched second in the NFC West. They look kind of good, and the only way I see them going extremely far is off their excellent defense. And they have a great defense bolstering Aaron Donald, Micah Kaiser, Jordan Fuller. They have a lot of defensive talent, and that's personally what I see getting them to the playoffs in the first place. Their offense still bolsters talent, but they need a QB. Maybe their new AAF quarterback might do something. But, yeah, if the Rams make it past the Seahawks, they're not going to get through the Saints or Packers in the divisional. Moving us to the number 5 seed. And that number 5 seed is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ah, yes. Tampa Bay is in the playoffs. The Buccaneers acquired Tom Brady from free agency after he left the Patriots, and also ended up acquiring Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, and later on down the season, Antonio Brown. So, from the outside looking in, you might have think they've assembled a super team, because now they have Brady, Gronk, Fournette, Godwin, Evans, Brown. They went 11-5 and didn't even get an NFC South title, because they ended up losing some essential games in their spots. And that is the reason why the Bucs don't have an NFC South title, is because of those losses when they did not need the losses. Of course, I do see the Buccaneers going past the wild card because they're playing Washington, but likely they'll either be playing the Saints in the divisional or they'll be playing the Packers in the divisional. I do not see the Buccaneers getting past the divisional round. Anyway, moving on to the number 4 seed with our first divisional champion, Washington football team. Yes, the football team have made the playoffs. Once again, another team that has drunkenly stumbled into the playoffs. Washington won the title of Tank Division, otherwise known as the NFC Least, or NFC East, at a paltry record of 7-9. Yes, they are the third team, excluding the strike seasons, to make the playoffs on a sub-500 record. Now, if the only thing that's going to carry Washington to the promised land is their outstanding defense effort. Their offense does look a lot better under Alex Smith than it did under Dwayne Haskins. Their offense still, to me, and I think the football team in general reeks of mediocrity. I do not see Washington making it past the Buccaneers in the wild card, because the Buccaneers are a legitimate contender. So, Washington would need some luck to get by them. Now, moving to the number 3 seed. In the number 3 seed, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks won the title of the NFC West at a record of 12-4 after beating the Rams in Week 16 to clinch the title. They have their outstanding offense led by Russell Wilson. If they play like they have been playing recently, then Seattle will probably go far. They'll probably beat the Rams in the wild card and then end up facing either the Saints or Packers in the div. Most likely the Saints. I see Seattle maybe making it past the wild card, but no, not through the divisional. I do not see them going that far. Now, with the number 2 seed in the NFC, we have the New Orleans Saints. Now, New Orleans has looked pretty decent and also very suspicious this season as well. It all started in week 1 after losing Michael Thomas to injury. When Thomas went out, the Saints lost their next 2 games to the Raiders and Packers. It's like team fabric just collapsed when Thomas left. And then the 9-game winning streak happens. Then you lose to the Eagles in week 14. Then they lose to the Chiefs the next week after Drew Brees comes back. But then they finish off strong and beat the Vikings and Panthers in week 16 and 17 to go 12-4 and clinch an NFC South championship. So they will be playing Chicago. Hopefully the Saints will pull through. I see them going possibly to the NFC Championship, maybe Super Bowl if you stretch it, pending we get past the Bears in the wild card. Because the last time the Saints played in a wild card game, when we looked like the heavy favorite, we lost to the Vikings. So I hope the Saints can do something. And finally, the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers won the NFC North at a record of 13-3. And the only teams that have beaten them have been the Buccaneers, the Colts, and the Vikings once. Now, these are good stats that are coming up from the Packers, but if they fix their rushing defense is still a thorn in their side. So if you're going up against a team with a lot of good tandem running back duos like the Saints and the Buccaneers, you're going to have some problems. So you got to fix that rushing defense. And it held up very well against the Titans because they were able to beat them. Now, if their rushing defense is like that against Derrick Henry and the Titans, and if it's that same way in the playoffs, the Packers will definitely go very far. Most likely a Super Bowl ring. But only time will tell if that is to happen. And that's my personal opinion on everything. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And leave a comment if you think my opinions are accurate to the assumptions. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.